This is the second video about chapter 23 and two more problems from the end of the chapter. The first one is number 28 over here, where we have a generator that contains a coil of 200 turns of a certain radius r of 0.1 meters. This coil is immersed in a magnetic field of 0.8 Tesla. This generator, this coil, rotates at a speed of 3,600 RPM, which is revolution per minute. The question is, what is the peak voltage of this generator? So the peak voltage, epsilon naught, is the number of turns, the area of the coil, the magnetic field, and the angular velocity. Before we plug this into this formula, we want to change the 3,600 RPM into radians per second. And so omega is 3,600 revolution per minute. But we know that one revolution is 2 pi radians over one revolution. And also 1 minute corresponds to 60 seconds. And so we have 3,600 revolution per minute. We change the revolution as 2 pi over one revolution. And we change the minute as 1 minute over 60 seconds. Okay, we convert all these units together. So that at the end, we have that the omega, the angular velocity, is 377 radians per second. Once we have this number, we can just plug in this formula where the epsilon naught or E naught is 200, the number of turn in our coil. The area, so it's pi 0.1 square meter per second meters, times B, which is 0.8 Tesla, times the omega. And the number comes to be 474 volts. A kind of an inverse of this problem is the one in problem number 32, where we know again what the omega is. In this case, we have a square coil of size 1 centimeter by 3 centimeters. Okay, so the area is 1 centimeter times 3 centimeters. These square coils turn, and we know that it produces a epsilon naught of 18 volts. What we also know is that the magnetic field B, which is in this case originally perpendicular, doesn't really matter, okay, because we know that it's going to do, in this case, 1,875 radians per second. So we can invert that formula that we wrote over here in order to find N. So the number of turn corresponds to the peak voltage divided by the area, the magnetic field, and omega. So we plug in all this number, 18 volts. The area is 0.01 meter times 0.03 meters. Again, I'm converting everything from centimeter to meters because those are the units that work together with Tesla and seconds. 0.64 Tesla, 1875 radians per second, and you get a number of turns equal to 50. This is essentially the little coil that is attached to the old bikes to light up their little lights in front when you go with the wheel. Okay.